morning, everybody, and welcome back to robmotivefst. And that's right, hot off the presses, there have been some new Toyota Tundra pics released. Now, whether they're real or not, take it with a grain of salt. It definitely has some styling cues that look real, but I'm not quite sure myself, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But for the sake of argument, let's assume that they are. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at my phone with these pictures on it. And the first one I have is this long shot of the side of the new Tundra. You can see the whole thing. And I'm starting in the front with all that chrome on the grille. Ew. And then it comes down flat, juts out, and then comes on down. I'm not really digging that either, and I'm thinking maybe that's why this may not be quite right, but I don't know. It says Tundra in the front, has the fog lights, which look kind of chintzy to me, and then the old Toyota badge up there in the front, which is still chrome. I don't know. Moving on down the truck, we have these ugly wheels. I don't care for them. Maybe they're just prototypes, but I'm not thinking so, and they look kind of small on the truck. Now, before I go on, one thing I will say, this is obviously a double cab. You can see in the back it's not the full door, so it is the double cab version. It looks squatty to me, and I had mentioned this in one of the other videos early on where I had talked about the new Tundra, that they were going to squat it down a little bit, and it looks like they did. It looks like it's just pushed down a little bit. I don't know. Moving on, we've got the giant chrome door handles. We still have to have chrome door handles. And then the black in between the doors. I don't mind that. I'm talking about this area here. I know a lot of people don't like that. Doesn't really bother me too much. Now, moving towards the back. This is where it gets kind of funky. You see that little, what do you want to call it? Little accentuation in the bed. That little indentation. Well, they've got it coming down across the gas cap. Looks kind of funky, looks kind of weird to me, and that's why I say I'm not so sure that this is real. I see things that look real, but I'm not positive. And then, of course, carrying on to the back where we can see a bit of the tail light, which actually doesn't look too bad from the side. Now, moving on to the next picture, and why there aren't pictures of the full rear kind of makes me wonder a little bit too. I'm not quite sure if I understand why, if you've gone to the trouble to put these out, you wouldn't snap the full rear, which is something that no one has shown. But either way, we can see a bit of the rear. It looks like it has Tundra, I believe, stamped in the rear, and then a little bit of a bubbly rear end, if you will. You know, it kind of juts out a little bit from those taillights. I don't know, I'm not really digging that. And then almost a scoopy kind of thing that comes out of the back. You know, I don't know. And then, of course, again, this is the double cab, so we have the single kind of porthole type mirror in the back. Well, that tells you the full window isn't going to go down like it does in some of the other trim levels, like the Crew Max. Too bad. Would have been a good chance to make that full window go down, but I guess that's kind of a way for Toyota to make everybody step up, right, if you want that. Now, one other thing I want to note while I'm looking at this shot, the truck does sort of seem to go down in the front, kind of seems to pitch down in the front. So we have a non-level truck pointed down in the front, which is pretty typical of all trucks, really. They all kind of go down a bit in the front anyway. That's why a lot of people want leveling lifts. Now, we have one more picture. It's a front end shot. You know, that grill, the way they've done the whole treatment in the front, I'm not digging that. Even the fog lights down there, kind of mounted on top of the black piece on the grill, kind of looks cheap to me. And it looks like I don't know what, a big open kind of mouth, you know, surrounded with chrome. I don't know, it just doesn't look too great to me. I don't know. Now, this is going to be a lower trim level than what they have released pictures of before, of course. So it's not going to be as impressive, I guess, as what the TRD Pro version would be. But man, they've really dumbed down the lower trim levels if indeed this is a legitimate representation of what the Tundra is going to look like. Now, I had mentioned before, the reasons I don't think it's real. One, how the heck did somebody get it? It looks like it's in a shipyard. Maybe like it just came off a boat, right? Toyota's shipping them in, getting ready for the big announcement. Who's gonna let one go? I mean, if you're in charge of all these top secret brand new trucks, are you really gonna give some guy the keys and say, just go take it out, do whatever you want, so that they have access to take pictures of the truck? I kind of doubt it. And it also looks like it's sitting out in the middle of nowhere, you know, or maybe somebody's driveway. I'm not quite sure. Doesn't look legitimate to me from that standpoint either. Now, I did see another picture of the interior, supposedly, of the truck. What a mess. It has this great big flat screen, which looks completely out of place. The center console area looks horrid, and the console itself looks unfinished. It almost looks like a bunch of things just thrown together. I mean, is Toyota taking a cue from GM and just pulling parts off the shelf? You know, GM did that about 300 years ago with the Corvette. They created this new Corvette, and all they did was pull existing parts off the shelf, slap it all together, and call it a new Corvette. It was horrible. I know, I drove one. It was bad. So I'm hoping Toyota hasn't done this. They've just cobbled together some sort of a truck for the sake of doing it. It really looks horrid to me, and I say, ew, because that was my first impression. I showed it to my wife, and you know what she said? Ew. So it's kind of nasty looking. I'm not digging it, and it's given me second thoughts. You know, recently I bought a 2021 Toyota Tundra to hold me over until the redesigned 2022 comes out. But I gotta say, if what you've seen there is a representation of what Toyota is offering as the new redesigned 2022 Tundra, man, I'm gonna have to think about that. I might have to make a hard pass. I think what I have right now is better. Even in the interior, you know, I've said before, I love the big screens and stuff, but it has to be integrated properly. It has to fit right. It can't look like something you just grabbed off a Best Buy shelf somewhere and threw in there, right? And that's really what it looks like. And this other picture I saw, which again makes me think this may not be true, is there's a bunch of buttons right underneath the screen, and then some center area, and then a bunch of buttons under there. Looks like toggle type buttons all over the place. And there are a lot of them. What in the world would they all possibly be for? I don't know, maybe the thing sprouts wings and flies, or a sail so it gets better gas mileage. Who knows? Anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Is this the truck you've been waiting for? Has this blown your mind? I think it's blown my mind, but not in the right way. Leave a comment, let me know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma. And Rob Motive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay curious out there. Bye.